Good morning. Looks like we are continuing downwards as of right now. I'm going to mark the overnight highs here. Had to sneeze there. So those are the overnight highs. Here's the overnight lows. Doesn't look like these are really going to come into play, at least, because we just kind of pushed right through them. I have this downtrend drawn, and I fit it for the midline, but it looks like we're continuing past that, so I'm going to pull it down even further. And that does fit well with this midline. You can see 1, 2, 3 touches there, but looks like prices are just going to kind of go ahead and push on through there. So clearly a strong short-term downtrend going on there. It's about 7 minutes till the open. Looks like you might be able to extend this out a little bit. It's possible that it's something like that. Definitely looking for a short. Looks like we are coming off the opposite side most likely, but with how strong this short-term downtrend has been, how strong this downtrend has been, if we get a second entry, even if we're not back to the EMA or not back to this side, there's a chance that I could still be interested. So just going to keep dragging this down as it fits. This is getting really strong here. So it's similar to yesterday, how we just kind of started off with this huge downtrend. Traded down 27 points in no time at all, and looks like we're doing the same today. 30 points in just a few minutes. Craziness. Very similar though. Looks like we probably overshot a little bit. So if we pull this about here, place this where it fits best, and it looks like we have a slight overshoot. Prices are still coming back and holding that downtrend just a little bit. And it's no wonder that nobody watches this stream. I like crack my fingers and shake up a protein shake and whatever other gross noises. I mean, that's not why. If I was a super profitable trader, I have no doubt there would be some people watching. At least a few, but I'm not. Not yet, at least. Getting a short-term uptrend here. So a little short-term uptrend, probably something like that. Expecting prices will probably, after the overshoot, head back to the EMA. Here's a first entry short. So just one leg back. And we did get the break and a double bottom, which can sometimes suffice as a break into extreme. I want to see if I drag this out. It's possible this is wider, but I think for now it's best to play it as tighter. Got the true break and new low now. So the stage is set for a possible move back to the EMA. Such as a higher low. Continuing to move down and going even further. Interesting. I'm gonna pull this out. So downtrend has a clear break and new low now. If this plays out like yesterday, then we'll see some continued down movement even after the break and new low and possible overshoot. So let's see. Yesterday there was, after the spike, there was a small spike in channel and kind of folded over into a tiny little range. So we might see the same today. We're bouncing at yesterday's lows. Continuing down. Okay, so I want to take another look at this downtrend. Something like this could be right, but I don't think so. So it looks like a break in two legs down now. So some type of higher low back to the EMA could be good. Though it looks like we're just going to trade straight up there. Being a double top. So a couple bull bars there. Bearish bar, pause bar, continuing higher. Short-term uptrend has a break in new high. So now that this has played out, there's the potential for a second entry short here. It's not a second entry, but it looks like 2 legs back. So there's the potential. That's a doji, not interested. But either way, after this downtrend has a break in 2 legs down, I'm not going to take that until we have further proof that we're going lower. Definitely possible that we just create some sort of wider uptrend like that. So unsurprisingly, not the same as yesterday, as of right now. Potential for a failed second entry. Expecting prices to continue higher.
Order submitted.
It's pretty choppy. Sideways, you have 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a 4th stacked bar.
Order canceled.
Looks to me like that's a close outside. So if we pull this tight, pull that tight, looks like that's a close outside. We're moving to a new high. So I'm actually going to be interested in shorts.
Order submitted.
It's funny how a second ago I was interested in taking a long, now short. Picking up some volume there. It's a lot of movement, oddly. Looks like prices are going to explode off in one direction or the other. To me, it looks like it's going to be short, most likely, because it looks like this uptrend has played out. I'm expecting prices to find some resistance off of the trend line. Two stacked dojis there. It's possible this comes in a little bit tighter. The price has already played off it. Not positive, but I think that could be the case. I'm waiting for some sort of lower high or something. Price is pushing down. Looks like they might just go ahead and start trading down without me. No good signal bar, nothing that I could possibly enter there, unfortunately. Looks like I'm going to pull this in just even a little bit tighter. I'd love it to come off of those bodies. That, maybe. So still looking for some sort of lower high. Oops. So we have a break. So downtrend comes off the opposite side, uptrend, break, new high. And now it looks like we might get a lower high here, but we have moved pretty far. So definitely hesitant to take anything like that. I might though, just depending on how it looks. We're definitely picking up some volatility. We're really picking up there. I just don't love how far that's moved for a lower high. It feels like it's moved too far. Looks like chances are this is actually a little bit wider, kind of more like where I had it initially. So maybe a failed second entry here. It felt like this had moved too far for a lower high, but it's definitely a possibility. After the uptrend, break, new high, lower high. So waiting on some sort of failure possibly. Let's see here. Definitely a possibility. See if we would have gotten out of this one yet. Don't believe so. Oh, just barely, yeah. So we ticked higher there, so potential for a failed second entry. For me to be interested, it has to at least have an equal high here. We have 1, 2, 3 stacked bars right now. Looks like the failure is going to probably trigger on this neutral bar. Maybe 1, 2, 3 going on 4 stacked bars. Again, got to see it tick above there, and failure triggers on this doji bar.
Order canceled.
Looks like this downtrend might break soon because we're not pushing away. Clearly just moving down. We're now kind of chopping lower. This downtrend maybe picking up some steam here. We got a big bearish bar closing one tick from its lows, getting a little bit of follow through. For the most part, it's pretty sideways. Just looking for any kind of bearish bars to the low side right now. Uptrend got to break a new high, lower high. Felt like it moved a little bit far above the EMA, so I skipped that one. Would have worked out well. Still don't know if it would have been worth taking though. So we are getting continuation. See, this bar closed on its lows, and then we got another neutral bar. Pulling back once again. Ideally, we'd get a second entry short here. So we got a neutral bar and then a doji stacking within it. A bullish bar, 3 stacked bars. We now have 4 stacked bars to 2 dojis and a neutral bar. Next break lower is technically a second entry short, but it's super congestive. I'm not going to take that. As you can see, we have a low here. We tick below, making first entry, and then this would be the second entry if it breaks lower again. Breaking this downtrend. Didn't really hold for super long. So we had 1, 2, kind of like just 3-ish touches. I don't know. Didn't really push away on this touch at all. Potential for a range area. So you get a double top there. So I'm just gonna draw that for now. Expecting that could come into play. Might have made 2 measured legs down. Not quite. Made a higher low. So here's our low. Made a higher low. Gonna see if we're able to make a higher high. Getting a strong push down after this bearish bar. So we have 1, 2 bullish bars and 2 kind of neutralish bars. Big, strong bearish bar that gets follow through. Getting further continuation. So we are making a lower high. Right here, a lower high with a short-term uptrend that is not able to play out. That's interesting. EMA going really flat. So you can see prices going above it, below it, above it. It's looking kind of range-like. Want to keep in mind, like yesterday, it could turn into a spike in channel. Yesterday I got too locked into the range when it actually ended up being a spike in channel. So while this is a possibility, it's pretty out there, at least right now. Want to see if this is able to make a lower low. Expecting prices to come down and test these lows at some point. So we are making a lower low. Definitely possible that there's a trend like this working down and we're getting a second leg down. Something like that. Getting one leg up there. So I am going to draw this spiking channel that I was mentioning, just to see if that comes into play or not. Short-term downtrend, break new low. Looks like we might have gotten 2 legs down. A little bit further, but it kind of resembles 2 legs. So it looks like the downtrend, the major downtrend has a break and a new low right here. Kind of a break in 2 legs, technically. First entry short there, but I don't think I'll be looking to take a second entry, at least not right here. We might get a second leg down, sure, but I don't know, everything's just kind of too uncertain. Price is looking really choppy, congestive. They're not stacking exactly within this bullish bar, but pretty close. Kind of have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I don't really need to count them. You can see that there's kind of like a range-like action going on. Looks like this spiking channel could end up being correct because we have 2 touches on each side now. I'll be waiting until prices come back up to the main side before I'm willing to short, unless there's a completed correction. I'm going to run downstairs really quickly, so I'll be back. And I am back. It's easy to think on one hand, well, if there's nothing going on, I don't need to be here, but if you're not here, you're not learning. And that's the whole point. Sometimes I've woken up late before and looked at the chart and thought, oh, there weren't any trades, so I didn't miss anything. But like the whole point is just to learn. And if I slept in, maybe I didn't miss any good trades, but like I still didn't learn. getting congestion. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stacked bars. I'm thinking this downtrend, the spike in channel, is correct. At least as of right now, it looks like prices have tested this side twice and this side twice, and the midline has play here and here. That is a second entry short, but it's super congestive and everything's played out as far as this goes. Kind of looks like there's just one spike. Kind of looks like there's a little spike down. Prices would have a break in 2 legs, 2 new lows, so it's too aggressive to take a short there. So it looks like we had a failed breakout of this congestive area. So to me, it looks like a tiny little congestive area that gets a failed breakout. And now we're moving higher. It's possible there's a slightly larger range going on. Definitely we're working sideways. Just not sure exactly where those parameters would be. Range starting to look more clear. Double top here, clearly just working down from something on the highs. There's the potential for a long off the lows, but it would have to be a really good setup because the overall bias is down. The lows are inconsistent. So, to be honest, as I said that, probably not going to be a setup there. Continuing to chop sideways. It's funny how from day to day I'll talk more and sometimes I'll talk less. Like today I've been talking not super much. Yesterday I talked a lot. I wonder how that affects, or how that reflects, more likely, my trading performance. Picking up volatility, 10 o'clock, looks like there's a news event. Makes sense why we were going so slow there, coming into the news. It's funny how quickly that can change. So there might have been a slight breakout of the bottom of this little range. But with the volatility, it could not be a true breakout. Seems like my cold is finally kind of going away, but actually now that I say that, I don't really think it was a cold. It was probably just allergies. It's getting really warm around here and the flowers are blooming. Looks like we might be overshooting this spiking channel. If this is even correct. It still looks like it is. I mean, you have these 2 touches here, these 3 touches here. Lots of play off the midline. So I need to be careful. On one hand, there might be some sort of long entry because this could be an overshoot, and we had this sideways action. So we might get like a higher low coming back within both of those levels, but also the bias is down, so need to be very careful doing that. Other possibility is maybe some sort of downtrend. It's possible, but it doesn't look great. Could be another spiking channel. Just looking at all the possibilities right now. Could be another spiking channel like that. Clearly moving up pretty strongly there. Finding some resistance off of the old support level. And we are moving up. Looks like back into this range. Still finding some resistance on that range. Off the range support there. Potential for a higher low. You're already back to the EMA though.
Order submitted.
Still possible. So overshoot. Possible overshoot coming back within this range. Higher low. You're bumping up against the EMA. feel like the best setup. There's good momentum on that signal bar. That might work out. I don't really want to take something that's like
Order canceled.
just might work out though. Ticked one higher than that bullish bar, and now prices are turning around. So if I had entered, I'd be not too happy right now. And completely engulfing that bar. Wow, okay. Definitely happy I didn't enter. Can expand this out and extend that. Price is looking pretty choppy. There's that second entry short trapping longs there. A big bearish bar engulfs the entire bar. So might be some follow through selling. Looks like this range is played out. It's had kind of two breakout pullbacks. In fact, right here, it looks like this short-term uptrend break new high. The big bearish bar. Look at how there's buying coming in on each one of these wicks. Big bearish bar, kind of neutral bar, sells off, finds buying, sells off, finds buying, sells off, and might or might not find some buying. Closes close to its lows. Continuation. So where's the next most logical point for this? All the way down here? Looks like it. I'm going to re-examine something like that. I hate whenever I'm just kind of drawing trend lines. It feels like at random. And just saying, well, what fits? I like this better than that. I mean this, because it skips a lot of price action. You're skipping this swing, all of these swings. Whereas this one, at least, it's kind of more cohesive. So I wonder if there's a better place to put this. Maybe that. Maybe that, because you get this touch, that, some of that there. Could be that. Definitely not acting like an overshoot, that's for sure. First entry, I would consider a second entry around this area. This doesn't look right. That looks like a spike. This is probably just a spike and a really, really small spike and channel down. First entry. Looking for a possible second entry. So I'm going to put in an order just in case. So we could get a second entry here. See, it looks like we're working down in a channel. And we have a first entry short. Looks like we're building out a potential second entry short. There are 3 stacked bars, and we're not quite back to the EMA. Looks like prices are taking care of that right now, though. So in order for me to be interested, it has to at least be an equal high. And so it ticked higher. Let's see if prices are able to hold this downtrend. If so, and we get a bearish bar here, probably going to take that. And we weren't quite able to hold that. Still the possibility for a second entry short. In fact, it looks like it might be kind of 2 measured legs up with this short-term uptrend getting a break in new high. So I'm definitely still interested. Though there is quite a bit of upward momentum here. So I've got to see a little bit of a reversal of that. If it breaks lower, I think I'll take that.
Order filled.
Second entry short.
Stop filled.
Looking for a break in new low with what looks like this downtrend. Got stopped out there. Looks like pretty 2 clear legs. But we did push through the EMA pretty strongly, so it could be something. Trying to see if this larger spike in channel is correct. Prices are testing it right now. I really thought this channel was correct, but like I say, it might not have been. So I would have expected prices to at least move down a little bit there. And this channel looks like it's being validated. The third touch. So interested in some sort of lower high entry or something of that sort. So I thought this is a second leg up from this one, but it looks like this is an independent leg that's probably going to require a retest. Looks to me like a short-term uptrend here. Doesn't have a close outside, or this is not a close outside, but there is a close outside here. That's kind of what I meant to say. It's a third entry. So the next entry would be a fourth entry, but it would be a lower high. There's no break in new high, but it does look like prices are bouncing off this downtrend. So possibility for a lower high. Prices are looking a little bit stacked, so you have 1, 2, 3, going on 3 stacked bars. Potential for a lower high.
Order submitted.
I would prefer this uptrend to have played out or to get a failure. But if we get a good lower high kind of off of this trend line, or at least close to off this trend line with a nice signal bar, then I could be interested there. So let's see if we get a bearish bar here. We do not. So we break the possible downtrend.
Order
So,
canceled.
in the end, maybe we do have an overshoot. Maybe it's like that. This downtrend doesn't seem like it's right. I like that one. Now this has a break in new high. And you do get a bearish bar. So potential for an entry there. Could even be wider. I don't know, lots of questions. I'm very uncertain about what's going on. Could just be 1 second lag, really. So you get this one leg, and this all just kind of working lower for a second leg, potentially. Clearly working higher. So it looks like the spiking channel that I was playing, both of them, were incorrect. I really thought that this one was right, though. Really thought that was right. Had a lot of touches. I have to look at that later. Thing is, though, even though I took that trade and it lost, I did think it was a really good trade. I was pretty certain about that one. And that means it's a learning opportunity. Because if I took it and I was like super uncertain, then it's easy to just say, oh, well, I knew I shouldn't have taken that, and then move on. But at least if it's one that I really thought was going to work out, then I can learn from it. And yeah, that's really it. Definitely more long biased at the moment. Congestion moving sideways. We'd consider a long entry. This one would be a second entry long. If we were to maybe come down to the EMA, it'd create a failed breakout and a second entry long, looking for a break in new high. That's an entry that I would potentially be interested in. So there's the possibility here. This doesn't really look like one first leg. This is kind of like your one leg down. With it being a failed breakout though, looking for that clear break and new high, I might be interested. But prices would need to trade all the way down here. So prices traded down and then found some support in the latter part of this bar, trading up quite a bit, about a little bit past the halfway point. Now they are trading down.
Order submitted.
So there's the potential for an entry. Looks like one leg down here though. So it looks like one short-term leg down. That's definitely sketchy to me. I'd want to at least see a close outside of that. And we are getting the close outside and a move to a new high. All right there.
Order canceled.
Very strong bullish bar. Didn't quite reach the new high. So prices broke, came close, creating kind of a triple test, but it didn't quite reach that high. So I want to see prices go back up there. I think they're going to probably make it. Creates the possibility for a short in the future though. Clearly there's that congestion area, but now you have prices continuing to find resistance off that level. So you didn't quite make this break a new high. I would be interested in possibly taking a second entry short off of this resistance area. I'm going to remove this and just play this resistance. So let's say if we come up here and we get a bearish bar creating a triple test, that would be interesting to me.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
Making a lower low. So we've now made a lower high and a lower low. Moving up pretty strongly. So that was a good reversal bar with follow through momentum. Lots of follow through momentum. But notice how this bullish bar right here ticked above and didn't get any follow through. So now let's see what this bullish bar is able to do. It is getting followed through. Looks like we're getting close to this break and new high. Potential for a triple test here.
Order submitted.
Okay, we have moved to the break and new high. Still the potential for a triple test.
Order canceled.
Okay, now we're really moving higher.
Order submitted.
So, big bearish bar after the break and new high, room back to the EMA. I
Order
like that.
filled.
So we are pushing through the EMA quite a bit, which I don't love. We did get the move back to the EMA, which I was kind of expecting there. So that was like the crux of the move. I might be asking too much out of prices. Definitely more aggressive than the trades that I would normally take. But I liked how this has the break and new high, big bearish bar. So we'll see. The bar did close a few ticks off of its lows, which I don't love. Might have been better to wait on a lower high. There's definitely some support in this area too. So you can see that there. Thankfully my order is right before that. But viewing that more as like a zone. Could be there. There's a lower high. Would have been right into the EMA, so I don't know if that would have been any better, but it is a nice bearish bar. Where did I enter before? There. So we're getting close to my order. Don't know if we'll touch it or not, because it is quite far. This would be a failed second entry long if it continues lower here. I think still clearly the uptrend has a break and a new high. It's a big bearish bar. Still feel decent about that one. Looks like we're just kind of struggling at the EMA. So prices came down, they found some support at the EMA, came down again, found some more support, and now they're kind of chopping around there. Right around the place that I entered. 1, 2, 3, 4, going on 5 stacked bars. Super congestive area. Trade could definitely go either way. Looks like we might continue up and get a second leg up. So something like this. We might get a second leg up. We'll see though. Clearly prices are playing off of this resistance a little bit. So there was this resistance here, we broke out higher, came back within. Prices are playing it just a tad. So maybe for this one, I might have wanted to drop a limit order a little bit higher up. So that way I wasn't pushing through the EMA so far. That might have been a better option there. I think this is a reasonable trade. Didn't quite go far enough though, and I might get stopped out now. Okay, finding some bearish momentum. I'd say if we don't go lower here and don't get me out here, it's probably gonna reverse, considering how we kind of pushed through these highs right there. So let's see what prices are able to do. Clearly finding some support at the EMA. Here we go, turn it up off the EMA once again. If I moved my orders, I would probably go ahead and get out of this one since I'm stuck in congestion. But I don't do that. I just let them play out. And it looks like it might be the right choice to just let it play out here. So that was a pretty strong bearish bar. I think it's followed through with another perfect bearish bar. Still finding support at this level though. So other than just the EMA, there's clearly this level right here. And in fact, it's a perfect midline. So if I take this and draw a range, it's the midline right there. So again, I am asking quite a bit out of prices to come all the way down here. Yeah, look at that. That is a perfect midline. I remember whenever a little while ago, whenever I was trading, I used to just get to this point where price would be moving sideways and I'd be like, I don't care if it wins or it loses, just get me out. Like I'm ready to just be out of this trade. And it's funny how uncertainty can sort of hurt more than just taking a loss. I mean, it is pretty tough, watching prices move sideways and just not knowing whether they're going to catch you out or not. Even trading sim, where it doesn't even really matter. I mean, I'm decently content where I am, but I'm definitely I can tell I'm a little bit tighter, watching more intently. Price is finding support off this midline. Looks like we're turning up again. I wouldn't be surprised if we go ahead and break out the high side. With how many times we've tested this, how many times we've tried to go lower, would not surprise me if we rocket on up here.
Stop fill.
Yep. So there we go. Did get stopped out there. I think this was a fair trade because we have a clear break and new high with a bearish bar. But like I said, I was pushing it too far. I should have probably dropped a limit order back for that one. This lower high. Don't take that one though. So let's just take a broad overlook real quick. Get my bearing straight now that we've had 2 losses. Looks like there's a downtrend that has a break and 2 legs down. First leg is clear, second leg is kind of choppy. So first leg, and then it kind of goes into this range area, breakout, pullback, moves lower. Then we hit that measured move. And I took the second entry short here. So I wasn't looking at this, but it was off of the old support. That looks like it might have been holding as resistance. The reason that I took that one was because I thought that there was a downtrend here. Something like that, like a spiking channel working down. And I thought it was looking for a break and new low. And this is a pretty perfect 2 legs up. So that's the reason I took that one, but I was wrong. Price has moved higher. Got a break. Attempted a new high, creates a triple test. Get a second leg down. We move to a new high. Big bearish bar. So I took this one thinking prices were at least going to, at least in the short term, reverse with the big bearish bar after the break new high. We did get some sideways action, but we didn't get the strong enough reversal for what I was looking for. So we've now reached the measured move for the second leg up. And we're coming back and testing this resistance area. It looks like we're probably going to come back and fill possibly this gap after prices broke through the overnight lows. They never came back and tested it, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's where prices are headed. We're extending past this measured move. So uptrend break, first leg up, second leg up, extending past the measured move. Price is continuing to move up, even after everything's played out. Is there potential for a lower high now that we have the 2 legs up? But we are making another higher high coming off of this previous level, but I'm not going to put too much weight into that one. For some reason today it feels like I'm hell-bent on taking the opposite trade, like opposite of the trend. So earlier today I thought I saw an overshoot and I was looking at possibly taking a long somewhere along here, even though the trend was down. Right here I was trying to take the reversal trade, so I need to really watch that. Sometimes it's acceptable, but it seems like I'm doing it too much today. Continuing to move up in this trend. Looks like there could be a close outside there. I'm going to pull up Mac's chart, see if I can see what he's got. Maybe I'll get my bearings straight here. Looks like Mac hasn't posted his midday chart. Unless he just put the wrong day. Let me check real quick. He's done it before. Wouldn't be surprised if he does it again. Nope. So that's just not up yet. Looks to me like this has a break in new high. Or maybe not a break in new high. Looks to me like it has a break, an attempt at a new high. moving sideways. Clearly some congestion. And I think I'm only going to be able to trade until 12 o'clock today. Got some things to do this afternoon. I think that'll probably be pretty typical, considering I work most Fridays. So I was just thinking, I'm tempted, if prices make a failed breakout to the high side, to take a short here. But again, I don't know why I'm so tempted to trade against the trend today, because the trend is obviously up. So if anything, I should be looking to take a long if there's a failed breakout the low side, not the opposite. Looks like we're moving to this breaking new high. So we've done it. We moved to the breaking new high. Coming off of this previous double test. And there's the potential for the trade that I was saying with the failed breakout, but just need to wait on something better. After 2 losers today, there's no point in being rash, taking a bunch of dumb trades. I'm interested for this one. If I had just dropped my limit order back a little bit, I could have easily gotten out of that. Even gotten out of it before it came to the EMA. Continuing to work higher. I think that we are going to fill this gap headed up here. It's not a true gap, but fill the breakout. My best bet for a spiking channel is this. But we're just going right up and over that. That's the next best bet there, but nothing for certain. Clearly we are trending up though, so I shouldn't be looking for anything but longs. And looking back, there is this triple test. That's a potential trade. Kind of looks like 2 legs back with a triple test. Looking for the breaking new high still. So I can definitely see that as being a potential. kind of the only one that I see. I guess unless you're going to take this failure for the second entry that I took on the engulfing bar. That's a potential. It's possible this downtrend was maybe something like that. I don't know though. Not like that. I feel like there's something else here. I'm not sure what it is. Big sell-off. Looks like this trend might be correct. It's not confirmed. It doesn't look super awesome to me. So there was this previous double top. Prices struggled a little bit to get through there. They made it through, and now they pulled back and they're testing it. I'm wondering if this is a little less steep. Maybe if you draw it off the bodies. Probably not. I just kind of want this midline to fit better. Stacking within this big bearish bar, still finding support off the old resistance. As far as what I'm looking for now, I'm just waiting until prices come back to this level before I really consider anything. Keep checking to see if Mac has posted a mid-morning chart, and I don't see one, not yet. Okay, so he did just post one. Let's check it out. Huh. Looks like he does have the same downtrend that I was playing. His bars are a little different, actually. Bars are pretty different. For the most part, his is similar. He's got this. Something like, I can't quite get it to fit, but something like that. No, because his comes off of here. His is like this, something like that. So I guess the best case scenario for mine would be to get it like that, because he has an overshoot. Definitely makes me wonder what happened to this trade, because I thought maybe my trend line was just wrong, but it doesn't look that way. Well, his bars are so different than mine. looks like the midline is holding of this trend so far. We are getting a first entry, second entry long off of this area, but look how many stacked bars there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stacked bars. So now imagine you take that one above, and don't get me wrong, it could go up there, but you're expecting it to break out of this congestive area. Doesn't seem like a very good bet. Could happen though. Run to the restroom, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I don't feel like I truly understand what's going on here. I think Mac had his trend like this, which already got to break a new high. I'm going to pull that back up. He's got his downtrend a little bit tighter, but with the way my bars are, I think this one is more correct for my chart. This one he's got starting from here, and it kind of goes like this with an overshoot. But again, with this bar on my chart, feels like this is better. Then he's got this uptrend, same uptrend there, and this a little bit tighter. So I'll stick with what Mac has, because what are the chances that I'm right and he's wrong? Like, very slim. And then the question is, what's going on here? So if this already has a break and new high, we have a pretty strong push through the EMA, then we could be getting some sort of downtrend, potentially. Feels like I'm just drawing trends like willy-nilly, like no rhyme or reason to what's going on. I feel like I'm just drawing them, just trying to figure out what's fitting, but I don't actually understand what's going on with the price action. Okay, so that could be a valid downtrend. Everything's played out to the upside. We're moving down in what looks like this downtrend. I feel like today I've been too focused on finding trades instead of just reading what's going on. And I haven't been 100% understanding what's happening. I've instead just been looking for trades where I like kind of understand around the perimeter. So need to just kind of understand what's going on, kind of feel the price action, and I think I'll do better. I'm not worried about making up for the 2 losses today. All I want to do is make sure that whatever trade I take, I really feel good about. I feel 100% sure about my read. And that's all that matters. That's all I can do. If I do that, if I just reprice action, I take the trades that I think are best, I'm not saying I'll be successful, but I will at least be able to learn and improve. Looks like this downtrend might be a little bit steeper. So drawing it off of this instead. Could be like this. Clearly we are working down though. I actually think I might be able to find the channel better. Maybe not. I was going to say just drawing it off the opposite side. And maybe it's a spiking channel. Unsure of where that is. I think there's clearly a trend working down here, but I can't find exactly where it is. It's possible it's the initial trend that I had drawn. Like that. In fact, we are turning down there. Right off that same level. Possibility for an entry here.
Order submitted.
I'm definitely worried about over trading though. Because I usually don't take this many trades, especially in this short of a period of time. This isn't all that great of an entry, to be honest. It'd kind of just be a lower high after coming off of this possible downtrend line. It's not a second entry short, you know, it could be like a hidden second entry short, but that's kind of aggressive, so it would really just be a lower high. Just a lower high off the trend line.
Order canceled.
Lots of stacking bars. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 stacked bars in a doji. Continuing to move down, seems to be proving this trend line. Potential failed second entry long coming off of this downtrend. After prices came off of this main side, they weren't able to reach the opposite side again though, which is a little bit concerning. But in order just in case.
Submitted.
Looks like you might get this failure here. Kind of a neutral bar. It's like kind of bearish. On a failure, the bar doesn't matter quite as much, so I'm considering it. Gotta see if this downtrend is gonna hold. Yeah, okay. Let's see if it comes back. So I did pause a little bit there. It might have cost me this entry. Let's see if it pulls back. Yep. So it looks like it's going to hit my target without me.
Order
So I paused a
canceled.
little bit there, hesitated, unfortunately. I just wanted to, so the reason that I hesitated was because I wanted to see if the momentum would sort of continue down, and it did. But of course, whenever it did, it sort of cost me the entry there. I think that's probably a red trade. So I'm tempted to just go ahead and hop off. I feel like I'm not trading well today, but the point isn't to trade well. The point is to sit here and learn. And I'm on sim, so it doesn't really matter. It's better to just stay. I could take 100 losses, and as long as I learn from each one, then it doesn't even matter. Clearly moving sideways within this bearish bar. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stacked bars. Possibility for a second entry here. In fact, I'm going to pull this out just a tad, so that way the opposite side fits there. Possibility for a second entry.
Order submitted.
I feel like if I take this one, I should probably put the limit a little bit higher up because of this support here. Looks like the signal bar is probably not gonna, well, it does close pretty bearish. If this breaks lower, I'm gonna put my limit order a little bit further up. And see if that comes back to fill me. It's looking like it's just going to continue on down there. So because we've already reached this support level, I think it's best to just let this one go. But I don't think I would have been comfortable taking this all the way down here. So I don't think I can mark that red. I think green is probably best there. There's not really a great way to get in that, at least for 1-to-1. There's just enough room to scalp. Still a possibility for a lower high here.
Order submitted.
And we're making a higher high.
Order canceled.
So we've broken outside of this range, and this downtrend. Big, strong, bullish bar up. Would have had just enough room to get out of there for a scalp, so I think maybe this one's worth it. Just for the 4-tick scalp, though. Looks like you might be finding some resistance off a triple test type of area right there. So I'm expecting a short setup, but I'm not sure where exactly. I don't think that I want to take that triple test. It doesn't look quite right to me. I'm going to put it in order because I'm not sure exactly where I'm looking for an entry. I mean, I know where I'm looking for one, just around this area, but I'm unsure of where exactly it's going to occur. Getting some stacked dojis, congestion. Continuing to stack. Just continuing to stack sideways. While we are continuing to chop sideways, we are going slightly lower each time. And it looks like we are going to move for the break and new low. Still the possibility of getting some sort of lower high. Possibility of a lower high. We're getting close to the support level. Kind of looks like a second entry if you count off this double bottom. Second entry short possibility. Had the breakout of this congestive area, bullish bar, kind of like a pullback there. Looks to me like we're going to continue lower. We're really close to the break and new low. So it's a little bit sketchy going short this far. We didn't break lower there. So because this was an engulfing bar, it's possible I could take this trade basically anywhere. But I'll wait for some kind of failure possibly. So like if I had put my order back where this engulfing bar happened, that could be a possibility. Something like that. Let's see what that would have looked like. I have a feeling that would have, yep, already would have won there. So that was probably the best way to play that.
Order canceled.
Let's say even if I did that over here where this bar engulfed, I would have gotten out of that one too. So definitely something to consider there. We've made a break and new low of this downtrend. Now that this downtrend is played out, I'm expecting prices to either go sideways or possibly reverse. Stacking within this bearish bar. Clearly see 1, 2, 3, 4 bars stacked within that bearish bar. Break a new low of the retest trend. So you can see there's a short-term downtrend here that gets a break a new low. So everything to the downside is played out so far. Possibility of a bullish bar here now that everything's played out. Ideally, we'll get a higher low, but we are continuing down quite strongly. I want to see if this were to tick lower and I were to take that, would I have even been out yet? No, so that was definitely too far to take a lower high there. But if I were to drop the limit order back, then it could have been worthwhile. Downtrend, break new low. The retest trend has a break a new low. Now it looks like we're kind of playing within this trend again. Prices kind of came back and they're playing it. It's the
Order
possibility of a
submitted.
long entry. I know I'm getting more aggressive though. So I might be kicking myself later if I do take a aggressive trade, but there's definitely the possibility of a long here now that everything's played out. Higher low, far from the EMA. If that does occur, I wouldn't want to trade really through the EMA. Looking like the signal bar is not ending bullish. In fact, it's ending quite bearish and continuing lower.
Order canceled.
This whole entire day I've had this itch to trade against the trend. I mean, I did it here. I was tempted to do it down here. Okay, so tempted here, did it here. I was getting tempted around here. I was thinking about it. Here's a prime example of why I shouldn't right here, because look, this trend gets a break and new high and the retest trend gets a break and new high. Then you get this lower high with a big bearish bar far from the EMA. So you'd think, yeah, I can ride that back, but look, it just keeps playing up. That's exactly what was right here. So downtrend, break, new low. This trend gets a break and new low. So if we got a higher low here, that's almost an exact replica of this trade. And look how both of them just continued down. So that's a loser's game. I need to stop doing that. Definitely possible there's a wider downtrend, but I'm going to leave it as is for now. Just depends on if we continue working down or not. Clearly we are continuing as is. Could even be this as a slightly wider downtrend. That fits really well, actually. So today my read has been like just really off almost the entire day. There have been very few moments today where I've gotten it correct on the first go. This downtrend was one of them though. So I did get this downtrend right on the first go. I didn't take this trade, unfortunately. It might even be a second entry short. I don't know. It's clearly at least a failed second entry long. Anyway, hesitated on that one, so unfortunate. This one I'm gonna have to study because I really thought I was right on this one. And this one, I was just asking too much of it. So I think I was right in the fact that this had played out, but I was asking way too much for prices to come all the way back down to the support level. If I dropped a limit order a little bit further back, then I could have gotten out of that. And I think it would have been decent, but it's still aggressive. I mean, I shouldn't be trading against the trend like that. It's risky. Looks like this downtrend might need a, oh wow, that was a quick move down right there. Lots of momentum. So it looks like this downtrend has a break and a new low already. That like shot down super fast. Almost looked like news. We're playing within this same downtrend again. Still the possibility of a larger downtrend. Just depending on how this plays out. Lots going on. A lot of freaking trends going on here. I'm thinking about possibly running an experiment on Monday, saying, okay, I don't care how many trades I take. I don't care how many wins, how many losses, whatever. Just trying to take as many trades matching with MAC as humanly possible. And then kind of paring down from there. I feel like it'd be easier to take what I can already see and then pare that down as opposed to trying to expand on or trying to continue, or I don't know, trying to improve. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Trying to take new entries, I guess. Trying to expand on like the ones that I'm already seeing and already can get, as opposed to trying to take new ones. But I guess that wouldn't really be the way, because then I'd be taking kind of new entries. I don't know. Probably best to just continue what I'm doing, taking the ones that I'm really confident in. So, seems like a good place to call it for today. Getting sort of choppy here. It's possible this downtrend comes into play, but it's sort of uncertain right now. So that's it.